everybody? Welcome back to an episode of ATOWN Rundown that I'm very excited about. This six-pack of Miller Lite is not going to last very long. There's some really exciting shit going on, especially in the Atlanta sports world. Playoff football is fully here, starting this Saturday. Couldn't be any more excited about it. It was a wild week in football. We're going to get into that. We got some exciting Atlanta shit to talk about. So as always, I'm Joey. This is one of my best friends in the entire world, Jeremy. Let's start this off
Likewise.
right. So let's go ahead and jump into the exciting world of Atlanta sports right now, because for once in a while, we have some exciting news to talk about.
Too much, actually, man. Yeah, we got a little bit of like headline fatigue in Atlanta right now.
There's a lot going on right now, and I'm going to start it with the elephant in the room. This is something Jeremy's very passionate about. So I begged him. I was like, can we please let me bring up some talking points about this before you jump down my throat, because I know you're so eager.
We didn't talk about any of this stuff before we started recording, so let's go.
I'm about to blindly hit Jeremy with all my points. If you want to know what we're talking about, there is some very big rumors going on right now that the Atlanta Hawks are getting ready to trade Trae Young, which is something I feared would happen, but something I kind of knew always had the possibility of. And these are my reasons why. So, Jeremy, hold on.
I'm listening, man. I'm listening.
Let me make some points before you completely jump down my throat.
I'm just going to drink beer while you're talking.
One thing, the no contract extension in the last offseason. So he's in his final guaranteed year, and that's a massive $49 million player option next season. And then he also had the injury struggles. And because of the injury struggles, the team did learn how to operate without him. And because of that, statistically, if you want to look at statistics, they have played, quote unquote, better without him. Not meaning they don't need him, but meaning they have been able to pull off better games without him on the floor. And now you also got to think of roster evolution. There's going to be younger pieces that they can seek after. And the thing is, when you want to seek out younger players, you don't necessarily want to build around a $50 million ball dominant point guard who doesn't defend as well as he used to. Getting rid of him can open the door for younger players, more free agency, and kind of build the team in a new evolution way. Those are my talking points. Now you can take it away.
All right, I think there's a lot more going on here, and I do agree with what you're saying, man. Like the player option's a big deal.
I was really worried you were about to fucking destroy me.
The player option's a big deal. But if you're getting rid of a player like Trae Young, who is a front of the line, all NBA guy, 4-time All-Star,
yeah, absolutely.
If you're going to get rid of him, the whole thing is they don't want to let him walk, right? And that's why you want to do it now and not like if you do it next year and you eat the player option, I think you still have the same option to trade him next year. Next year would be his true like expiring contract year.
Okay.
And, we can talk about what happened this year and, you can say statistically they were better this year without him. Trae didn't even play 10 games. Maybe he played 10 games this season.
I think it's about 10 games. I think it might be exactly 10 games at this point.
Okay. So, and him coming back from injury, he only played what, 2?
Mm-hmm.
And he played 6, 7 before that?
6, 7.
8, maybe? Nah, hey. Don't get into that shit.
You did it, dude.
Well, unintentionally. Well, I'm going to go kill myself after saying that. Anyways, I just don't think if we look back at like Trae Young's best year, it was 2021 when the front office actually put a real team around him.
Right.
That was the Bogdanovich and Gallinari. Now it's like you go in and you get Porzingis, who, has been dealing with the POTS disease stuff, hasn't played that much. Nickeil Alexander-Walker to back him up. And then Jalen Johnson coming back and being a superstar who I think is going to be an all-star this year. I think he should be a shoe-in for it as long as he's still healthy, God willing. I haven't really seen enough this year to say that he can't fit in with this team because he's been injured a lot.
And I do want to say
coming this week.
To your point, you did bring up. Okay.
Like this happening this week is kind of a little weird to me. Well, go ahead. What do you got to say?
Yeah. Well, sorry. I think there was a little bit of fucking delay right there, so I didn't know I was talking over you.
No, that's all good.
But I did want to say, to your point, you brought up his best season in 2021, and that is a game where we were literally about to make it to the finals, barring his injury. And I feel
Right.
like if that injury never happened, we would have made it there. However, I don't know if he's the same player he was 4 years ago and if he can play that well without the same team behind him. And I don't think he has.
Okay, well, I think that this year he has a similar team behind him. And we've only seen 10 games in this 30 games that they've played. So with this happening, I feel like, and we hear these rumors about Trae Young moving on and getting traded every year. It's like clockwork.
Since
we see it happen.
him. Since
Exactly.
we signed him. Yeah.
So because, everyone around the league seems to not appreciate him. And maybe even people in Atlanta don't appreciate him. I've always
if they don't appreciate him, why do they want him on their team so bad? They keep talking about how
that's
they
what I'm
want to
saying.
trade
All these
him,
Laker fans
I mean?
talk shit about him, and then they also want to like post pictures of Trae in a Lakers jersey, hoping that he'll show up there. That being said, like, to me, this year or over the last couple of days, when I saw Mark Stein post about it and then Shams Charania posting about it, I was like, oh shit, it must be real. Mm-hmm. And I'm starting to think that it's maybe a little bit more about that he knows that Atlanta's not going to give him that max contract and that maybe he can get it somewhere else. But what can you get for him? If the scenario is, and one of the ones I saw was trade him off to the Wizards, and the Wizards will give you CJ McCollum, but also we'd have to give them one of our first round picks. To me, let's eat the contract. Yeah. Whether he plays or doesn't play.
Yeah. And to me, in all honesty, and it's no disrespect to him, I don't think CJ McCollum is the proper caliber player you want to trade Trae Young for.
No, he's not. Yeah, and CJ's great. I love CJ, but yeah, he's an older player now. He's never really been a, front of the line all-star guy.
He's been a good utility player. Like, he's a good player. Don't get me wrong.
Hell yeah, he's a good player. Yeah, he's a good player.
But how do you see CJ McCollum benefiting the Hawks more than Trae Young does? You know what I'm saying?
Well, just another rotational piece. I mean, I think that and that's another argument that I have is like CJ McCollum coming in. It's like we've already got Zachary Richeche, who I don't think that we play enough. And some of this is like the Hawks' problems isn't really like what's happening on offense. It's what's happening on defense. Mm-hmm. And I know that when Trae came back, we lost 5 games in a row. And then he missed the next 2, and we lost 2 more. It became 7-game losing streak. And the whole thing was, our defense is so much better when Trae's not playing. But no, our defense has been terrible no matter what.
Yeah.
And so to me, Quinn Snyder, like not being able to get these guys to play defense is a problem. And Jalen Johnson, as much as I love him, he's not good on defense either. Mm-mm. And he's way bigger than Trae Young. Yeah. So I'm not really – I'm a little confused as to why this is all popping up now. The only thing I can think of is contract extension being the thing.
And I think when we first started talking about the Hawks, I mentioned the whole contract thing to you. Like in our first episode where we mentioned the Hawks, I mentioned the contract with Trae. And that was a red flag with me from the beginning, that the contract extension didn't happen. And with all the rumors I've heard about him being traded before we even got to this point, and then with the injury, and then when you see how he is on defense, you see how they played so well without him. Like, to me, unfortunately, like it in the grand scheme of the business side of the NBA, it does make sense to me from a fan standpoint.
If you can get something for him.
Exactly.
But
that's
if it
what
means
I'm saying.
giving up one of our draft picks that we traded for, which, dude, we got to steal in the last draft by trading our draft pick to get New Orleans unprotected, which was a pick swap with the Bucks. Meaning, when both of those, if the Bucks make it into the lottery, and right now they're sitting in the lottery spot, and New Orleans, who certainly will be in a lottery spot, we have more ping pong balls in the lottery. And the one that shows up to be the better draft pick is the one that we get. We cannot trade that for anything.
Yeah, no.
I don't care if AD and LeBron and everybody else that you can think of wants to show up here in Atlanta for that draft pick. You don't do it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to trade something like that just to get Trae Young off the books. I don't love this. I really don't. And, y'all can call me a Trae apologist and all this stuff. I've been a Trae Young guy since he showed up. And on draft night, I wanted Luka. I found out hours before, just by scrolling Twitter, that we weren't going to get Luka. We were going to get Trae. So then I pivoted to Trae. I'm like, hey, maybe he'll be good. And Trae, where we were at the time when we drafted Trey, which Dennis Schroeder was our franchise guy.
Yeah.
Okay, and coming off of Dwight Howard coming here too with Dennis Schroeder, like,
and it's funny that
Trey
you mentioned
brought
that draft.
us back.
It's funny that you mentioned that draft because literally days after that draft happened, you and I met. On the set of Fear Street.
That's right.
I overheard you talking to our buddy Travis, and then I chimed in, and you and I have been inseparable since then.
Exactly. But I was over there saying, like, hey, this could be a good pick. And I think it was because, what did Dallas do with Luka? They got to the next round of the playoffs that we got from. We went to the conference finals. They went to the finals one year, and then they got rid of him. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. And then if you look at that draft, man, like, it was DeAndre Ayton, number 1, going to Phoenix Suns. Then should have been Luka going to Sacramento Kings, but they took Marvin Bagley. By the way, what is he doing right now?
Not a goddamn thing.
Okay. And then it was, we trade down the number 5 from number 3, and we let Dallas take Luka.
Right.
And then I think Jaren Jackson Jr., JJJ, went to the Memphis Grizzlies at number 4. Yeah. They could have got Trey.
And see, the thing is, like, I'm not saying that I don't see this trade happening. It just has to make perfect sense, and we can't give up our pick for it. But the thing is, if they don't get it done by the trade deadline, which is February 5th, which I don't see them working out something that makes sense that'll benefit the Hawks by then.
It's going to be hard to find something that makes sense for both sides.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Trae Young is going to finish this season in Atlanta, but this very well could be his last season in Atlanta.
Yeah, and look, he's got a player option.
Yeah.
And in which case, he walks. And I think that if you're the general manager, it's if you can get something of value and he doesn't want to be here anymore and he knows he's not going to get the money, okay, then you go and get the value. But if the value's not there, and if you're just trying to dump salary because Tony Ressler and other billionaires don't want to pay it, fuck that.
And see, the thing is, I don't think it's a situation where Trey doesn't personally want to be here because he seems comfortable in Atlanta. He seems to have adjusted to Atlanta. He seems to have made it his home. But also it gets to the point where, like, you hear so much crowd noise. And, like, if I'm Trae Young and I've been here for five, almost 10 years now, and every single season I hear people wanting to trade me. I hear this rumor, and
he's been here. 2026 will be 8 years. He got drafted in 18.
I hear all this shit about me. Like, at some point, he's going to become unhappy. At some point, he's going to be like, "All right, well, fuck it, I'll just go play for someone else." You know what I mean? That's what eventually it's going to get to the personal side of Trae Young, where he's starting to think, like, why is all this chatter happening? Why do people keep saying this every fucking year about me? Maybe they don't want me here.
If that's all it is, man, it's just like that's bullshit to me. And and I'll go back to my point. Like, if this is about him not fitting with this new team, it's like, how can we look at 10 games and say that he fits with the new roster?
Yeah.
Or if he doesn't fit with the new roster? Because if it's about his defense being so bad, why is the defense so bad when he's not playing?
Yeah.
And I think the offense could be even better with him playing, my opinion, just because I know him. And, you described him as a ball-dominant point guard. That's what I want. I want a floor general. And that's what he is. He's a Chris Paul type guy with a little more, shooting ability. Mm-hmm. Now, he's not good on defense, and he never has been, probably never will be.
But I don't think he's also.
He's 5'10", 5'11".
I don't think he's 6'2".
In the NBA. He's certainly not 6'2".
Hey, that's what it says.
Nickeil Alexander-Walker,
says.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't say he's 6'2".
It says he's 6'2".
Nah, at best they say 6'1", maybe 6 foot, but a lot of people say that he's 5'11".
I'll look it up right now. Now.
Do it. See if he's officially listed at 6'2".
I'm gonna Google the internet right now.
6'2", my ass.
Trae Young height. Hold on. 6'2".
That's bullshit. I think he's 6 foot at best.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, Google does tend to lie. So there's also people.
I mean, dude, they also say that Kevin Durant is 6'11" or not even 7 foot, and it's like he's clearly over 7 foot.
Well, I heard I saw this interview with Kevin Durant, and he said that he would tell people he was 7 foot because he was 7 foot with shoes on, but he's actually 6'10". But I mean, if you're 6'10", you're 7 foot. You're 7 foot tall. Like, just call it what it is. Like, at that point, if you're 6'10", you're 7 feet tall.
Who's wearing basketball shoes that give them 2 inches?
Yeah, I mean, dude, those insoles, man.
You and I be wearing them every day.
Yeah. Who says that I don't?
Well, then you're lying about your height too.
I've been lying about my height since the 5th grade.
Same, brother. Same, brother. Hey, that's all I got to say about Trey, though. My personal, just last thing I'm going to say is I hope that we don't trade him. I hope we can make it work out because I've always been a Trey Young guy, and I do think that what he does with any NBA offense is going to be great. And no matter where he goes, like I hope he does well.
As long as it's not
if it's time for him to go, it's time for him to go.
As long as it's not the Knicks, I'm okay.
Oh, the Knicks won't have him, dude.
I mean, they might. I mean, I've seen crazier shit.
Okay, well, then they better give me something good.
I mean, David Justice went to the Yankees. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay. But the Yankees are not – the Knicks are not the Yankees.
Yeah. Well, in my head, any New York team, fuck them.
Yeah, well, so Yankees got 27 championships. How many do the Knicks have just in our lifetime, man? Can you think?
0, right?
Zero.
Yeah, 0.
Okay. So they're not the Yankees. Yeah.
All right, moving on before we get too crazy because these Miller Lights are going to take control at some point.
Yes.
But Raheem Morris, thank God Almighty. Thank you, Arthur Blank, for finally seeing the fucking light of day. Raheem Morris is no longer the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, and Terry Fontenot is no longer involved with the Atlanta Falcons as well. I never thought I would live to see the day. This is the greatest news I ever woke up to.
That means Zach Robinson too, and I've been saying that all year.
Yeah,
so.
He better be gone.
Oh, they all are.
Yep. So the thing is, now you got to look forward. Like now, what do we have to look forward to? Because not only that, there's some other shit going on. Now they're restructuring Kirk Cousins' contract, so that means they're freeing up money. That means they're going to be able to make some free agency signings. That means they're going to be able to do some franchise tags. That means that this is going to become a more attractive place for head coaches to come to. We got to start the interview process. We're more than likely going to cut ties with Kirk Cousins. I don't know who the stopgap quarterback is going to be, but also on top of everything else, today, literally a couple of hours ago, John Harbaugh got fired from the Baltimore Ravens, which I think is heartbreaking. I think it's bullshit. I think it's asinine and ridiculous that John Harbaugh would have gotten fired. I don't think the season he had in Baltimore warranted him being fired because look at everything he had against him. He still brought the team back. He still went on winning streaks. He's still he's
like number 3 winningest coach during his tenure. By the way, and in the NFL.
He was inches away. He was literally a field goal away from making the playoffs. That doesn't warrant. That's not a fireable offense to me. Like you have a Super Bowl ring under your belt. You've led Lamar Jackson to MVP. You single-handedly, or not single-handedly, but you have helped mold Lamar Jackson into the Showtime quarterback that he is. And they're going to fire you over this season.
All of the other players, all the Hall of Fame players that have come off of the Ravens, man.
I honestly, this was shocking news to me that the Baltimore Ravens would fire John Harbaugh. I cannot fucking believe it.
I heard that people were saying that it could happen. To me, I think that's stupid of the Ravens because, I mean, who are they going to get? Mm-hmm. You really want to be in the same situation as the Falcons? It ain't that bad up there.
Yeah, it's really not.
You go and you have a good draft and you bring in, look what the Falcons did last year is we transformed our defense over 2 years through the draft and a couple free agent signings. If the Ravens did that, all of a sudden, they're top 3 seed in the AFC.
Yeah.
And they almost won their division, which would have made them the number 4 seed.
Oh, dude, they came within
inches. They were a field goal away.
Yeah, and they overcame
with an injured quarterback, all that.
Lamar Jackson missed damn near half the season, and he was still able to develop it to where their backup quarterback was winning them games. Mind you, their backup quarterback got them to the position where that Steelers game is what would have put them in the playoffs. It wasn't Lamar that did it. The winning streak they went on while Lamar was injured, the fact that he could coach a backup quarterback into putting them into the position he would without having Lamar Jackson. Yeah, it's astounding.
Survived that streak without Lamar.
I just can't fucking believe it. I really can't. However, if we play our cards right, if we make a good offer, if we straight up Godfather this motherfucker, I don't see any other head coach that's available being a better land than John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh to the Atlanta Falcons would probably be the greatest head coaching change that's ever happened in my lifetime.
I would enjoy that. And you and I both wanted Jim Harbaugh, his brother, a couple of years ago.
I did.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And hey, I'll take a Harbaugh, man. John Harbaugh,
Yeah.
I think, can bring you stability to your franchise, which
Mhm.
is something we haven't had in a long time.
Not just that, accountability too.
Yeah, for sure.
Culture change,
accountability,
you name
stability.
it, he's got it.
Yep. And I think a change of scenery for him could be very good. Coming in here, I think the Falcons, are probably the best situation for a new head coach to come into right
Absolutely.
now. I know the quarterback situation is a little bit of a mess. Who knows what happens with Kirk Cousins? I'm kind of curious as to why this contract restructure happened. Like, is that Kirk Cousins being nice to us and want to free up cap space for us next year? Because
I think it's Kirk Cousins wanting to leave.
Well, he was going to leave anyways.
I think it's just him wanting a better opportunity for him to be
guaranteed
able to leave,
money. Like if he got cut, he was still going to take money leaving. So basically, he's still going to get the same money with this restructure. It's just that they've kicked the can down the road.
Yeah.
And so I wonder, like, what's in it for Kirk then? Like, why would he do this franchise a favor, considering how they treated him during the Raheem Morris regime, where he got benched his first year for a rookie who can't play under center and got injured the next year anyways?
It's because Kirk Cousins is a good
and then came back and then
boy, dude,
and then
he's
almost
doing the right thing.
I'm not sure I believe that. So to me, I think that either means that Kirk is being told he can stay, or that, I just don't see what's in it for Kirk to do that.
Yeah.
Like, he's just going to wait longer for the money, and he just really likes Arthur Blank.
Yeah.
And he really likes the franchise that treated him like shit.
Maybe he wants to stick around and see who's going to be the new head coach. Maybe this is going to be like a player coach situation. Maybe he thinks he owes us after
the coach that we don't have
season, maybe he thinks he owes us. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't
really
see
don't
that.
I really
don't see
know.
that.
I don't know.
I'm so confused by that. And thank you, Kirk, for doing that, because it does help the Falcons next year, no matter what, whether we cut him or keep him, because now our cap space won't be as bad. And now it feels like we're not really in cap hell anymore because of that.
For one,
I just wonder, and it's like, and did this happen before we fired Terry Fontenot, or did this happen after we fired Terry Fontenot? Who made this deal?
I didn't hear about this deal.
I think the rest of the world did. Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think that's when the news broke, was today. And it was in the past couple days. Now, it's Tuesday right now. Terry Fontenot and Raheem Morris got fired on Sunday, hours after the last game, which we won against the Saints. So I don't know. I don't know what conversations are going on up there. But I will say this. I do think that Arthur Blank and
finally not fucking around.
And you saw his 4-page letter to the city,
which was beautiful.
And I think that when he hired Sportsology, the firm, to come in and actually look at our organization 2 months ago, I think that he knew then that he was moving on. And so his mind's already been set on like who they're going to get. Clint Kubiak was the first guy that they reached out to get an interview with to be head coach, which makes me think that they were thinking that already. Clint Kubiak used to be the offensive coordinator for the Vikings when Kirk Cousins had his best years as an NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that has anything to do with it.
So Clint Kubiak is one of the people I would put in contention if we weren't able to land John Harbaugh, because obviously you want John
Harbaugh being fired today certainly like throws a wrench in that, because I was going to come in here saying Clint Kubiak number one.
Yeah. But when you look at Harbaugh, he's won with he's turned young quarterbacks into elite quarterbacks. He's won with backup quarterbacks. He's turned quarterbacks into MVP. He's had an entire culture shift. He's very well respected in the locker room. I know I've said before how it doesn't matter on respect, blah, blah, blah. It kind of does when you're a winning coach, like you do need to be able to command and lead a team. And what I meant then was like, people like Raheem. I don't know if necessarily people respected Raheem, but they liked him.
I don't think he's a good NFL head coach.
He's not a good leader. John Harbaugh is a leader, and he's proven it through and through. But if you can't get John Harbaugh, there's a few other guys you should get. Clint Kubiak is especially one of them. Vance Joseph being another. And I also think you got to look at Cliff Kingsbury too.
Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury. I want an offensive guy.
Candidates I have.
I want an offensive guy who's going to come in,
which is
which you know, right, and Kubiak, because then it doesn't matter. I want my head coach to be calling offensive plays. It's 2026 in the NFL. I'm tired of going through different, you know, trying out new offensive coordinators, trying to do their gimmicky bullshit plays. You know, they're okay with a quarterback coming in who can't play under center. I don't want that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Harbaugh's a defensive guy, but you know, maybe not anymore because like he has so much experience as a head coach.
As proven as any of these, somebody who can develop a quarterback. Like I think Michael Penix would need somebody like John Harbaugh. I think he would thrive under him.
I'm not convinced just because of the injuries for Michael Penix, man. I think that's why Terry Fontenot got fired.
Okay, that is actually something.
4 knee injuries.
I did never take that into consideration.
Yeah.
Do you think we're gonna try to go after a second round fucking quarterback in this draft?
I mean,
because you got to think about the gaps.
You almost kind of have to, man. I mean, I don't know about second round.
We got to look at wide receivers. We got to look at everything. I mean, who are the free agents?
The holes that we have are on offense, and it's quarterback and wide receiver.
A new head coach is like if you get somebody like Kubiak, you get somebody like Harbaugh, you get somebody like Kingsbury, that's going to look very attractive to some free agent quarterbacks who can be good stopgap quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? So
I agree.
Really, the most important thing we do in this offseason,
Mac Jones out there, Jacoby Brissett out there, Kyler Murray maybe out there.
The most important move the Falcons make next is head coach, because that's going to define everything going into the next season.
Here's the ladder that it goes. We have Rich McKay finally gone, thank God. So president of football operations, which we didn't officially have. It was
supposed to be Matt Ryan.
It was. We don't know yet, but he is the front runner. And I think that they made this position for him. Yeah. If he comes in, I'm going to feel so good about that, because
I'm going to feel very comfortable with that decision.
I mean, he's seen this franchise at its best, you know, and he was a massive part of that.
He's also seen it at part of its worst too.
Yep. And then you go to, he came in at its worst, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you get your general manager. Joey Harrington.
Joey Harrington. You know, the guy who unfortunately had to come in and replace Vic. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are terrible shoes to try to fill.
Yep. And Byron Leftwich, I think, was in between there too. But this is back when we were in quarterback hell, dude. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
We're taking it back. All right.
I remember Matty Ice was the biggest breath of fresh air Atlanta had in fucking years, dude.
Yes. So you bring him back in as a president of I don't want him to be our general manager just because he doesn't have any experience being that. But like, if you put him as the president of football operations, then you go get your general manager, and then if you really trust your general manager, let him help hire the coach. You know, but it looks like they're reaching out for head coach positions before they are general manager, which I'm not really sure about. I think Matt Ryan's supposed to come in and do his interview for president of football operations on Thursday or Friday.
Yep. And they also say that if he takes that job, he loses his spot as a sportscaster for CBS.
He should, man. I don't want him doing both.
Yeah.
I don't want him doing both. He's already in Atlanta. Stay in Atlanta and be here for the games.
Let me ask
you
here
for training camp, all that stuff.
As wild as it would be, would you ever see, like, maybe even not Matt Ryan, but like a former player becoming GM? Like, what if Matt Ryan just became our GM?
Again, I'd like to see someone who has a little bit of GM experience before that. You know what I mean? But depending on who it is, like, I mean, if you're talking about an ex-Falcons player, it'd probably be his first time as a GM.
Yeah.
Right? I can't think of a Falcons player that's a GM or has been.
No, I can't either.
You know, I want to go out. I know that like the Bears assistant GM has been talked about. I forget his name. But there's guys out there. I don't know. I honestly, I don't think Terry Fontenot was a bad GM because he hit on these last 2 drafts. Transformed our defense. Completely transformed our defense. Outside of the Michael Penix pick over the last 2 years, I thought he did good.
But
look what he did with that trade with the Rams.
Unfortunately, that's
James
what he's
Pierce
and
Xavier Watts.
For, though.
It is. That's why he got fired.
Earlier, that might be why. Yeah, that might be why he got fired. Was the whole? Penix
I think that
thing.
is why he got fired.
You're telling me right now that is why he got fired.
Yeah, that's what I believe. So, but I do like.
Unfortunately, what he's gonna because.
Go ahead.
No, because I'm saying like when you do something as great as get those defensive guys, make that fucking trade with the Rams, draft
Hmm.
Bajan, but you got that fucking glaring fuck up in your face like Michael Penix Jr. That's what you're gonna get remembered for.
Yeah, absolutely, man. But that pick with the Rams looks really good right now.
Oh yeah, it
Xavier
is.
Watts led the league. He was in that trade with the Rams. We got him in the third round. Led all rookies with interceptions and tied for second in interceptions total in the league. Okay, as a
Mhm.
rookie. And in that same trade, you got James Pierce, who had 10 and a half sacks. We have not had a rookie have 10 and a half sacks ever in Falcons history.
Yeah.
And he led the league as a rookie with sacks.
10 and a half sacks for any player, any season is
Is
a good
damn
fucking
good.
number to have.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
good fucking number to have.
Yeah.
Those are veteran numbers. Those are
So
Pro
that's
Bowl
two
numbers.
guys you got
That's
out of
good.
whatever. Let's see who the Rams draft with their, I think it's like the number, number 14 pick is what it's going to end up being. Let's see
Yeah.
who the Rams get and see if it's as good as Xavier Watson and James Pierce.
We'll see, man. We'll
We'll
see.
see.
Because you and I were talking about who the potential first pick of the draft would be. I'm leaning towards the Raiders. I think the Raiders would have the first pick right now.
Yeah.
But there's so many teams with the same records they have. It's going to come down to
a lot of 3-win
tiebreakers.
teams. Yeah.
Like there's so many 3-win teams. And then I was looking at away records. Like the Raiders are only 2-7 at home and 1-7, but they ended with a win streak. The Titans ended with a losing streak, and also the Jets lost with a 5-game losing streak. But then you got the Cardinals, who lost with, I believe, a 9-game losing. Yeah, the Cardinals ended with a 9-game.
The Jets and the Raiders, I think, are in the worst spot
like,
as teams.
Yeah,
like the
also,
Giants.
the Cardinals,
I think are looking
really
up.
fucking bad right now.
Cardinals are bad. But I feel like the Giants, I feel like you may have found your quarterback, Cam Scattaboo. He got injured this year, but he was a hit in the draft.
Okay, but Jackson and Scattaboo were looking stellar together, and I think with Scattaboo coming back,
so they actually look better than their record.
That's the thing, like if the Giants hit the draft this year, they could be dangerous because Jackson Dart is actually a good player, and when he has a healthy Scattaboo, like dude, they first of all, they were having fun out there, and when you have two players who can go out
beat
there,
the Eagles this year, prime time.
When they have good chemistry and they're out there playing good football and they're having a good time together, that translates to the locker room. All of a sudden, everybody's having a good time. Everybody loves their life. Everybody loves their job. People get attracted to that culture, attracted to that lifestyle. And I'm telling you, if they hit really good in the draft and they sign 1 or 2 good free agents, the Giants could actually be a good team next season. And I'm not just talking out of my ass. Like, this is a fact.
No, I agree with you, man. I agree with you. I think the Giants, one good draft away from competing in the division.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Eagles owned that division because, Cowboys defense was ass. Commanders were injured all year. They sucked. And then the Giants got injured bad playing with a bunch of rookies.
When I looked at
started with Russell Wilson, by the way.
Not only did the Eagles win that division, they dominated. They were 11-6, and the closest team to them were the Cowboys at 7-9. The NFC East is fucking trash, dude.
I agree. Even though we sang Dak Prescott's praises, for how well he played this season, and I believe he played really fucking well.
He did play really well.
But they just did not put the team around him. They didn't put the defense around him. I mean, it was one of the worst defenses in the league all year long.
Also, that's the thing about football is like 1 week it's so easy to sing a player's praises, and then literally the next week is like, what the fuck are you doing out there?
Well, no. I never felt that way about Dak, though. I feel like Dak played good all season. It's a 53-man roster. I felt that way about
Baker all season.
Okay, yeah, me too. And I think Baker was playing with injury over the last 8 weeks of the season.
Yeah, he absolutely was. He was. And I think for Baker personally, as a player, as a human body, it's probably a blessing in disguise they didn't make the playoffs, because he would have got out there and got smushed. Because when you look at it, and we haven't jumped into it yet, but if you look at it right now, if they had made the playoffs, they would be playing the Rams. And I don't think that's a game that Baker would have stayed on 2 feet the entire game for very long. He would have gotten it's probably a good thing he's resting at home in Tampa Bay right now.
Yeah, man. And let's bring this up real quick before we get into playoff shit. Because that's the next thing coming. We got to do a trouble watch too. It's gonna be off the cuff, at the end of this. But for playoff teams.
Okay, absolutely.
But
Mhm.
in memoriam, the NFC South, dude, like all we have a 3-way tie at the top of the division.
Three-way
8
tie.
and 9, 8 and
Yeah.
9, 8 and 9, no winning record.
And if the Falcons had only beat the motherfucking Jets,
That's all they had to do,
only
man.
beat the motherfucking Jets.
Which we lost to the Jets by a field goal in the rain,
Mhm.
over 55 yards. I think it was like a 56-yarder or something. From an old kicker. I forget his name.
And I told you this I told you this before we started recording. Do you remember the Jets' home record? They only had 2 wins at home, and we were one of them.
That's right. In the rain.
In the fucking rain.
And
Which
I
was
feel
a
like
game
the Jets played their ass off that week, but our
Yeah.
special teams was so fucking bad.
That was
so
a winnable game.
fucking bad that we lost.
To me, I'm going to be honest, that is the game where Raheem should have been fired.
I agree.
That point. At that point, that's the game he should have been fired. I understand, like, it was kind of a what do we do situation. Who's the interim head coach? I do love it because it got sketchy there for a minute. It got real scary there for a second, Jeremy, that he was going to keep his fucking job because they went on a 3-game winning streak at the end of it. And I was like, fuck, Uncle Arthur's going to keep him. But he made the right move. I do feel like it in a way it was smart to wait till the end of the season, just so all the vacancies are there, all the job openings are there. Because if you make that aggressive move right after the Jets, then who would the coach have been? You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't a knee-jerk reaction. And also, like, I think that weighing out, who's the coach going to be? Like, who's the interim head coach? Jeff Ulbrich just did that with the Jets last year, and he was ready to get out. I'm not sure he was ready to take over. I'm sure that the front office knew that, or at least, ownership knew that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like you, dude. I was afraid he was going to be like, I make a funny name like for my name when we do this podcast, and you guys can't see it, but Joey can always see it. And I was last week it was Raheem 2 more years, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I wasn't fully expecting him to be fired that quickly. When everyone was texting me as soon as he got fired after the game on Sunday.
You texted me and woke me up because I was in bed.
Okay.
I was asleep.
Okay, I wasn't. I got tore up at the game, at the Falcons Saints game. Rise up, baby. We won again. I was there with our friend Benny.
Are you still on probation with your wife over it?
Of course. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that never changes. But yeah, I was sitting on the couch and all of a sudden,
shout out Benny. My bad. I love you, Benny. I love you so much. And I miss you.
Hell yeah. I had like 4 or 5 people hit me up. They're like, Raheem fired. And I'm like, oh shit. So I immediately text you and I'm like, yo, emergency pod right now.
Yeah.
And you're like, we're going to do one, 24 hours from tomorrow morning.
Well, I responded because I was like, dude, I have to work at 6 a.m. and I'm in bed. I'm in bed. Like, no.
I almost did one on my own. I'm glad I didn't because, like I said, I was tore up and I was having fun. And I went upstairs and I was like, I went up to my wife and I was like, normally, like when one of our teams wins, like we'll do like a little victory shot. Mm-hmm. And I was like, Raheem Morris has got fired. I'm taking a shot. And she's like, I'm not. And I was like, well, Falcons won today and they win by firing Raheem Morris. I wasn't expecting that.
Just to reiterate, and this is a little insider ATOWN rundown for the listeners. This is how much fun Jeremy and I will have at a Falcons game. We went to a Falcons game about 2 seasons ago. I show up at his house. I show up at his house about 3 hours before the game.
Yeah, it was like 10:30 a.m.
And then he takes out a flat flask-sized bottle of Evan Williams. We drink the whole fucking thing. Mm-hmm. We drink about 4 or 5 Miller Lights each. Then we get on the MARTA, go to the game. I'm pretty sure I had a MARTA beer on me. We'll let
probably
that we'll let that travel your imagination.
Don't tell the MARTA police.
Yeah, then you get to the Falcon Stadium, and there may or may not be people on the sidewalk that'll sell you alcohol and shit like that.
Yeah, the homies, so man. They're out there.
And then you go in there,
the Atlanta Water Boys.
Yeah, you go in there, and then Mercedes-Benz Stadium has the cheapest beer in the entire NFL, so of course you're going to indulge. And then you walk out of the game, and there's even more Water Boys, and you get back to Jeremy's house, and there's even more Miller Lights.
Now, hold up. We're on the train going back, and the train's moving, but we're hanging on for dear life, barely able to – we got sea legs at that point.
No, I remember last time there was like this group of people and they were all drinking like this blue punch out of this Ziploc bag. And I looked at them and I was like, what is that? And one of the dudes was like, do you want to try it? And I was like, yeah. And I just grabbed it from him and I drank like his entire Ziploc bag of blue liquor that I have no idea to this day what the fuck it was.
God knows what was in that.
But then you get back to Jeremy's house. Yeah, you get back to Jeremy's house.
We did more.
Full of Miller Lite, and
that's it, baby.
you just have a good time. And I feel like in Atlanta,
what happens when you hang with the Miller Lite boys?
Yeah, that's a Miller Lite boys thing. So if you hang out with the Miller Lite boys, be ready to earn that title. If you want to be one with us, you got to hang with us.
But and we want you to be one of us.
As an Atlanta sports fan, that's kind of what you have to do because you either have to be prepared to celebrate or be prepared to let down. But either way, you got to be full of Miller Lite to do it.
That's right. Yeah. Find a way to have fun, man. That's what we do.
And if you're wondering if we are begging for Miller Lite's attention and a sponsorship, yes, because one of my dreams is to have a fridge in this podcast room that is filled from top to bottom with Miller Lite that I did not pay for.
Yes. Oh, God, that'd be amazing. Hey, shout out Miller Lite. Miller Lite, we're ready for our sponsorship.
Great taste that won't fill you up and will never let you down.
There we go.
And that was a free ad read.
It was.
But okay, are we ready to move on to the playoffs? Is that what we're doing now?
Let's get to some playoffs, man.
Okay, cool. So when we look at the playoffs, we're going to start with the AFC, correct, Jeremy?
Yes.
Okay. So
Bills and Jags.
Number one on the AFC, my playoff team that I'm telling you, I'm kind of nervous about right now because they got to go against the Jaguars. Especially if you look at last week, both teams did have wins, but they had wins against awful teams. The Bills beat the Jets 35-8, and the Titans got absolutely destroyed by the Jaguars 41-7. And deservedly so. You know, both teams are playoff tight. The other two teams, I feel like you're kind of in a position where, like, if it's the last game of the season, you have the worst record in the NFL, and you know you're not going to the playoffs. I mean, fuck it. Why fuck up your draft spot? Why even try at that point? And that's kind of what it looks like happened. I mean, especially 41-7 the week before the playoffs. Mm-hmm. That's despicable. Like that's
it
like,
is.
But
Titans ready to go home, man.
Yeah,
they got the
ready
trip
to go home.
Booked to Cancun, man.
So the thing is, when I look at this, as much as the Bills are my playoff team, as much as Every Time I Die is one of the greatest rock and roll hardcore bands of all fucking time, which has led me to become a Bills fan, as much as Josh Allen is probably the greatest football player to ever come out of Wyoming, the school. He's actually the only player from Wyoming.
Yo, shout out Tyler Algier, though.
Oh, Tyler Algier. There we go.
All right, he's a BYU guy.
There we go.
BYU just beat our Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, by the way, in the Pop-Tart Bowl.
They did. But so I unfortunately am going to have to make the tough decision and say the Jaguars are going to win this fucking game. And Jeremy, let's look at the stats and tell me why I'm more than likely correct about this.
Okay. Stats wise, the Bills do look better outside of like rushing defense.
That look good, or is it James Cook that looks good?
I was about to say. So first of all, Jags playing at home. Mm-hmm. But playing in Florida is not necessarily an advantage. If you're playing in Buffalo, it's like could be snowing, cold weather. You got a Florida team coming up.
In
but
Florida,
that's not the case.
Might have rain. You might have rain
in Jacksonville. Okay. But if you're the Bills, you're used to playing in weather all the time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, let's look at offensive stats. Pretty close here. Total offense, Bills number 4, Jags number 11. Passing offense, Bills 12, Jags 15. Pretty close. Ooh. Rushing offense, Bills number 1.
Yes.
Jags number 20.
And it is literally James Cook.
I agree. So total defense, we got Bills number 7, Jags number 11. That's pretty close. Passing defense, Bills have the number 1 passing defense in the league versus the Jags 21 going against Josh Allen.
Those are very interesting numbers.
Here's another one. So Bills got the number 1 rushing offense. Jags have the number 1 rushing defense.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So that was something I was going to bring up. And I was also going to bring up the whole passing thing with the Bills, the passing defense with the Bills, because watching their games, that number doesn't translate to what I've been seeing.
I I wish I had thought about this before we did this so we could look at their schedule and figure out who they played, like what quarterbacks did they play, what wide receivers did they play.
Right.
It seems like they didn't face a lot of like Jamar
they lost to the
Chases and guys
Falcons.
like that. They did lose to the Falcons.
Yeah.
And the Falcons were, killing them. Drake London had a big game that night. Bijan had a great game that night. Number one rushing defense. No, I'm sorry. No. By the way, the Bills have the number 28 rushing defense. That was the night that Bijan had 81 yards on a rushing play. But yeah, I mean, this one. So what, you're taking Jags in this?
I am taking Jags in this just because of I've seen the letdown that the Bills have, and like even though those statistic numbers do put on the Bills' favor, I think
this is season wide, man. This is a full season worth of stats, by the way.
Yeah, that's season wide.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like I think simply because of the rush defense that the Jaguars have. And I don't think that the Bills really have that elite. It's going to be
if James Cook can't carry them.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's going to be a Josh Allen heavy game. Josh Allen's going to be passing it a lot. But they're in the position they are because of James Cook. And if the Jaguars can shut down James Cook and fucking Trevor Lawrence can have the magic he's been having, not only do I see the Jaguars winning this, I see them easily winning this. Now, with that being said, you and I both said that the 49ers were going to easily beat the Seahawks last week, and that didn't happen.
We were very wrong.
So
it wasn't even a high-scoring game.
No. It was what, 13
under
6,
20. Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah, it was under like 25 points total.
Yeah. So
we can be wrong, and we will be wrong.
That's the magic of football. But I think with the way the Jaguars are playing, I think with the way they're clicking, and I think the way they've just come out of because the problem
playing at home. Hey, Duval's coming out, man. Like they can't wait to see their team in the playoffs, like with a home game.
The problem is with the Bills too, is they have historically underestimated their opponents this season alone.
I agree.
And I feel like this is something that's going to happen marching into this game against the Jaguars. And I think the Jaguars are going to be able to capitalize on that. And I think not only that, if they get their zone defense down right when it comes to the pass and they make Josh Allen run, and they use their fucking rush defense against him, use it against James Cook, they might be able to shut down the offense that the Bills have, and they might be able to actually easily win this game.
I agree with you. Jags win, but I disagree a little bit about how they win.
Okay.
I think the way that you beat Josh Allen is make him beat you with his arm, not his legs. So if you can keep him in the pocket, and looking at Jags passing defense, not the best, but if you can just contain Josh Allen, I think you've got a chance. The receivers aren't that great.
Josh Allen is scary on his legs, though.
That's what I'm saying. So don't let him use the legs.
Exactly.
Make him use his arm.
Not only is he scared, but Josh Allen isn't scared of a fucking thing when it comes to the game of football. He will.
He's a big boy.
He's fucking huge, and he will put himself in the most sketchy of situations as a quarterback on his legs.
Yes.
He is not afraid of a goddamn thing. So you're right. If you contain him, if you make it to where he's too scared to run because he knows he's got nowhere to go, and you shut down his receivers in zone, and you fucking shut down James Cook, you're going to win.
And that's how the Falcons beat them earlier this year, and it wasn't that close. So I think the Jags can do the same thing because the Jags are a much better team than the Falcons. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm taking Jags in that one. Sounds like you're taking Jags in that one.
Yep.
Let's see Jags going to the next round.
All right, cool. On to the next one. We got Chargers and Patriots. Now, the Chargers just got humiliated by the Broncos 19-3, and I think the Chargers might actually be out of gas. However, this could be the first real opponent that the Patriots have seen. With that being said, though, the Chargers being kind of banged up, the Chargers relying on an old fountain of youth, and Justin Herbert still having pretty much a broken hand, and with the way
fingers all over,
with the way they performed against the Broncos, I mean this was a game that really could have set the tone of how they were going to perform in the playoffs because they were already going to the playoffs. Now you just wanted to know the team that that were going to be going into the playoffs, and they did not look good against the Broncos.
Both teams were already clinched going into last week.
Correct.
So
but then you have that old that old superstition, that old strategy, like, oh, maybe they were just, playing down. Maybe they were just resting certain guys. Maybe they knew that they didn't need to play. So, the Chargers could have been saving some gas in the tank, but I do feel like the Chargers underperformed against the Broncos. And I do think with the score line that they had 19-3 against the Broncos, going on against the Patriots, who are kind of on fire right now. Granted, they did have a low strength of schedule. They did have a very easy schedule. I'm not going to argue with you that. However, they did just come off a win against who did they play? The Dolphins?
I think
Is that
so.
right? Yeah, they just came off a win against the Dolphins, and the Dolphins have been a good team.
Turned out to be a pretty good team. Yeah,
they turned out to be a good team, and they beat the Dolphins really well. They beat the Dolphins 38-10. So, and in all honesty, that game against the Dolphins could have been like the last real opponent that they had. I mean, I know it was the last game of the season, but I'm just saying, like, showing talent.
But the Dolphins were hot coming in.
Exactly.
Like over the last 7 weeks, they've been hot. So yeah, go ahead.
With that being said, like, just with the performance they had against the Broncos, the Patriots aren't going to take it easy on these guys. I feel like the Patriots smell blood right now, especially after what they saw last week, especially after coming off with that 28-point win.
Patriots
against
playing
the Dolphins,
at home.
and the Patriots playing in New England at home. You're not in Los Angeles. I almost said San Diego, but you're not in Los Angeles.
Right.
I see the Patriots taking this, and unfortunately, I see the Patriots taking this with ease.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. And we can look at the stats here, and we should, just out of respect for the teams, because Chargers statistically looked pretty good, but Patriots are in the top 10 in a lot of categories. So let's talk offense. Total offense: Chargers 12, Patriots 3. And this,
3 is a pretty high fucking number
against the teams that they played. But then you've got passing offense: Chargers 18, Patriots 4. Rushing offense: Chargers 12, Patriots 6. Let's go defense. Total defense: Chargers number 5, Patriots number 8.
Okay.
Chargers had a little bit tougher schedule, so I would give the edge of total defense to the Chargers because, first of all, they're ranked higher, and I think they had a harder schedule.
Right.
Passing defense: Chargers 5, Patriots 9. Rushing defense: Chargers 8, Patriots 6. This is something we haven't been saying about the Patriots, though, at all this season, is like how good their defense is.
Yeah.
Well,
I tried to say how good their defense was, and then you told me that it's because they've been playing easy-ass teams.
And I think that's something to remember. I don't think that that's going to show its ugly head against the Chargers. Let's see what happens when they play other teams later rounds. I got the Patriots in this.
Well, okay, because let's see, let's say the Patriots win this and the Jaguars win. You could see the Patriots playing the Jaguars.
Then it changes.
And I don't want to speak too soon because I don't like jinxing thing. Because we have been a pretty consistent jinx on the show. We have. But
we can't help that.
I don't see the Patriots beating the Jaguars. I don't.
I don't either. And I that would be the next round. You got
before we put too much pressure on that, let's move on to the next AFC game because I don't want to jinx Duval.
Oh no! So the next round for the Patriots would be the winner of the Texans and the Steelers.
Okay, well let's talk about that game.
So they wouldn't face the Bills or the Jaguars until or the Broncos until the AFC Championship.
Right. Okay. So yeah, Texans Steelers, man. You look at how they played last week.
Talk about that.
I mean, dude, the Steelers were blessed with holy water, and it showed. They had a priest come out, bless the field with holy water, and I think that's what worked because you had Loop for the Ravens, who has been so consistent, who's been a monster with his leg this season.
Yeah,
missed that field goal, and that was it for the Ravens.
Can I say something about this, man? And
absolutely, you can.
I don't know if you saw this, man, but their kicker was getting harassed on his own personal Instagram page, by
making
all their fans,
about his wife and everything.
Yeah, dude, on their wedding photos and shit. Fuck that, guys. It's football. It's for fun.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of these teams too. I'm not going to go on any of my players that I'm rooting for.
I didn't send Younghoe Koo a single DM about how shitty he was at the beginning
if anything,
of this
it'd be
season.
hey, man, things are going to look up. You're going to be all right, whether that's with the Falcons or if that's in the NFL or if that's just you having a good life. Like, it's a lot of these young kids that are coming out here, like acting like these players fucking owe them something. Like, shut the fuck up, dude. He missed. He missed. It happens.
And listen,
nobody kicks.
On top of that, you're
100%.
You're a Baltimore fan. You're a Baltimore fan, okay?
Mhm.
Baltimore has at least 2, maybe 3 rings. I'm an Atlanta fan. We have never won a championship. We've been around for 60 years this year.
Yes.
Not a single fucking ring, not a single Lombardi trophy.
You and I have been alive for
nothing.
more than half of those.
Yeah,
and we got
so
nothing.
Shut the fuck up. You want to send death threats to somebody? Like, you guys have been a winning organization. You guys have had some of the best coaches of all times. You guys had some of the best defensive players of all time. You had Ed Reed.
Yep.
You had Ray Lewis. You had Joe Flacco in his fucking prime. Now you got Lamar Jackson,
Terrell
Derrick
Suggs.
Henry, Terrell. And you want to send death threats over a missed field goal when you guys have had so many accomplishments? Yeah. Fuck you.
Yeah, that's cowardly bullshit. And anybody listening to this show that does shit like that, fuck you.
Yeah, don't listen to us anymore because you're not welcome here.
Yeah.
You're not. But yeah, so the Steelers inched out a fucking victory. I hate it for Baltimore. It was fucking heartbreaking. But then let's look at the Texans real quick, because the Texans played the Colts, who the Colts have nothing to play for anymore. They only beat them by a field goal and 2 points. They only beat them by 8 points. The final, and it was a high scoring game. The final score was 30-38, which you look at it, very competitive in a game that shouldn't have been competitive. I feel like the Texans should have walked all over the Colts, especially with how the Colts have been lately. And then, you look at the Steelers game, the Steelers won by fucking 2 points because of the missed field goal. That doesn't tell me that either team is going to dominate this game. That tells me that this might be a very exciting playoff game with both teams having something to prove and with both teams very much wanting to stay alive in this. So out of everything, I do see this probably being the most exciting AFC matchup of the week.
Most competitive, at least.
Texans, baby. Texans.
All right, yeah, I agree. I'm going Texans. Let's look at it. Now, this is in Pittsburgh because the Steelers won their division, so they get the home game. Texans won more games, but Steelers won their division. We'll come back to that point about winning your division, even though having a lesser record later when we get to the NFC. But let's talk Texans Steelers stats. Total offense, Texans 18, Steelers 25. Passing offense, Texans 14, Steelers 22. Texans were missing their starting quarterback for a long time this season, by the way.
Yep.
And this is full season stats. Rushing offense, Texans 22, Steelers 26. So on offense, you got to give it to the Texans. Let's get to defense. All right. Defense, Texans.
I mean, dude, the Texans have been a defensive monster. Yeah.
Number one overall. Monster. Steelers 26. And then passing defense, Texans 6, Steelers 29. Rushing defense, Texans 4, Steelers 13. So Steelers, they can stack it up front, but Texans rushing offense, that's not really what they rely on. They're doing more of a passing thing. Passing defense for the Steelers, not good. It's one of the worst in the league. In fact, there's only 3 teams worse than them. Defense wins championships. Defense wins games. We're in the playoffs. Even on the road, defense travels. I'm going Texans.
Yeah, period. And I'll also tell you, it's weird to finally see a Steelers team without a dominant defense, because my whole life that's what they've been known for.
Yep. Them and the Ravens, like, having bad defenses this year has been crazy to me.
Yeah. And still, fucking
And then CJ Stroud, like, all these offensive numbers. Remember, this is, and now, good coaching up there, because when you're starting quarterbacks out and you continue to win games, and this will come up when we get to the NFC as well, is huge. Yeah. So, actually having your main guy back, like, I think that the Texans offense is going to be better than these numbers that I just read off.
And that's another thing, going back to defense, especially when you mention Baltimore, which is so wacky. But every time I hear the name, the words Baltimore Ravens, immediately, instinctively, I think of Ray Lewis. Every fucking time I hear the name of that team, Ray Lewis comes to mind.
Yeah, same here.
Ray Lewis, one of the greatest fucking players of all goddamn time.
Absolutely.
Which, once again, Ravens fans, what are you complaining about? You had Ray Lewis. Like, you had Ray Lewis.
Exactly.
I would have given anything
death
for
threats,
the Falcons
man.
to have had Ray Lewis. Are you fucking kidding me? If we had Ray Lewis, we probably would have won, Super Bowls, multiple Super Bowls. If we had Ray Lewis with Matt Ryan on offense and Ray Lewis on defense, if we had Ray Lewis and Ed Reed on defense at the same time with Terrell Suggs, if we had the defense that Baltimore had during that era, we would have been like literally like those are the guys that won the Super Bowl. Joe Flacco did his job, but like literally,
we had Vic Beasley.
Oh my God.
And Grady Jarrett.
I cannot hear the words Baltimore Ravens without thinking about that defense. And what that defense was 20 years ago, 15 years ago, something like that. And like, it's still that ingrained in my memory because they were that good of standout players. But anyways, we're going to move on to the playoffs when it comes to the NFC. So we got the Rams and the Panthers. They're playing in Carolina, where the Rams lost to the Panthers earlier this season.
That's what makes this the most interesting.
Yes, and there's something about Carolina that has been a very intimidating place to play. Carolina is coming off of a loss to the Buccaneers, but because the Falcons beat the Saints, the Buccaneers missed out on the playoffs. Panthers are now in it. And then you look at the Rams. The Rams beat the Cardinals by 17 points last week. So Rams are coming off of a win. Granted, it's a win against the Cardinals, but then they got to go back. And
before that, they lost to, remind me who?
I think they lost to Atlanta. Yeah, they lost to the Falcons.
That's right.
So that's the thing is
Rams aren't very good on the road.
The Rams have not been traveling well, and they already got embarrassed to the Panthers at home. And the thing is, I've been saying this entire fucking season that whoever from the NFC South makes it to the playoffs are going to lose in the first round. This gives me hope that I could actually probably be wrong. Granted, Bryce Young has not been doing well, especially this late in the season. He has not been doing well at all.
The Panthers did get hosed in that last game against the Buccaneers. I don't know if you saw some of that. Yeah, it was bad. And it was a bad weather game and all that. But there was there was one play, and this was a very tight game against the Buccaneers. There was a play where Bryce Young throws a lateral pass, and I mean like the most lateral pass you can. It wasn't going back; it was straight lateral, and it got dropped, which should still be a live ball. They call it incomplete right there. Could have gone on. There was so many other things that happened in this game against them, but that's the one that sticks out to me. They kind of got hosed. Didn't matter. They still make it to the playoffs because your homies, the Falcons, won against the Saints and eliminated the Buccaneers. But yeah, let's talk about the stats about Rams and Panthers. And again, this is full season stats. The matchup is a little bit different, but look at the disparity in these offensive stats, dude. So total offense, Rams, number 1. Panthers, 27. Passing offense, Rams, number 1. Panthers, 26. Rushing offense, Rams, number 7. Panthers, 19. I thought that the Panthers' rushing offense would be better.
I did too.
Considering you have Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle. And then let's go to defense. It's a little more even. Total defense, Rams, number 17. Panthers, 19. Passing defense, Rams, 19. Panthers, 15. Rushing defense, Rams 20, Panthers 12.
Okay.
To me, even though we're playing in Carolina and the Rams haven't been very good on the road, I think the Rams got this.
Okay. No, but here's the thing is like road Matthew Stafford is not the Matthew Stafford you're used to. I agree. It's just something that like the late season Matthew Stafford, granted, he is still in conversation at MVP, but he's just been so inconsistent.
Probably the MVP, I would say, because the regular season's over. I think it probably is Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, but it's just okay. There's just something about him on the road, and granted, I think Devontae Adams is still injured. Correct?
I don't know, but that should be something to talk about.
I don't know if we have the injury report pulled up, but we're just firing off the cuff right here.
And I'll find it.
I know that this sounds a little bit dark horse, but like because it's in Carolina, because they haven't traveled well, because like I mean, yes, granted they beat the Cardinals by 17 points, but you beat the worst team.
Devontae Adams expected to return
on
against
this game.
The Panthers.
Yep. Okay, so he will be there. Okay, that gives me a little bit more hope for the Rams, But I just see something wacky happening because of how wacky this season of football has been.
Especially with the Panthers. Who saw this?
Yeah, this is gonna sound crazy and call me crazy. I think the Panthers might actually win this game.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I think they might win this game.
Here's something to talk about, man. Like, so when you win the division, no matter what your record is, and you're coming out of a shitty division, the NFC South, where three teams, had losing records tied for the top, should you get a home game over the Rams?
No.
So do you think they'll ever change that rule, or do you think they should? Like, if you have the worst record, no matter what,
I think they should, but they're not gonna. There's
winning
so
your
many things I
division
think
should
the
get you a
NFL
playoff
should do that
spot,
they're not
but
gonna.
like it shouldn't get you a home game. I feel
No. Like, especially when you win your division, but you have a tying record with two other teams. I don't think you should get home field advantage on that.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
I think it should go with who the better record is. I genuinely
and look at
do.
the Rams division, man. Seahawks and
But
Niners. Holy shit!
I think everything should be based off of records when it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Well, that's what the NBA does.
yeah.
But
NBA
that turns the divisions
that right
into
there.
like it doesn't matter what your division is.
Mm-hmm.
I think winning your division should get you a playoff spot, but maybe not like you shouldn't be the number 4 seed. You should be the number 7 seed.
Yeah,
like you won your
absolutely.
division, you get in, but you have the worst record. You should be the lowest seed.
It's the simple fact right now that like I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think the Panthers should have home field advantage. I don't think the Steelers should have home field advantage. I see the Jaguars, I see the Patriots, I see the Bears,
Broncos, Bears.
But like these other teams, like it doesn't make sense to me. Like the Panthers having home field doesn't make sense to me. Steelers blows my mind that they have home field advantage.
Yeah.
So I see where you're coming from. And the thing is, like, there will be people who will say that like people who are casual sports fans, well, what does it matter? It matters more than you can even fucking imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Just the crowd noise, the interactions. Like you saw it earlier in the season with Michael Penix when you're in enemy territory and the crowd is being so loud that you can't hear the play calling, you can't think, everything's vibrating. But then on the other hand, when that team is on offense and the crowd is dead silent, so that team can make every move and make every communication they need to, it plays a big fucking advantage.
Yeah. I agree.
Because like you'll be at Falcons games and they'll literally put up on the sign, silence, the offense is cooking, like be quiet so that we can hear each other. And then when our defense is on the field, they're like, make some fucking noise so that they can't hear.
Some
so that
dumbass
they can't
Saints fan that was
other.
sitting in front of us on Sunday, Falcons were on offense, and he's like, wow, it's so quiet in here. I'm like, yeah, because we're on offense.
No shit. Yeah,
wait till we're on defense, motherfucker.
It's supposed to be.
We got loud as fuck.
Yeah, it's supposed to be quiet right now.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, yeah, I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but, like, I really do see a surprise. I really do see some drama unfolding. I think
we need an upset, man. We need an upset.
I think the Panthers might be the upset of the week. I think the Panthers can actually win this game.
Yeah, and, dude, maybe I'm looking into the stats too much, but I got Rams in this. And, and there's a little bit of bias because I said whoever wins the NFC South is going to get destroyed. But I honestly thought that the Niners were going to take the number 1 seed last week.
Yeah,
and the Seahawks were going to come in.
I didn't argue with you at all. I was like, yeah, you're right.
But the Seahawks are now number 1 seed with a bye week, and the Niners are actually going to play next week. So, well, I don't know. Like the Rams and seeing what the Rams did against the Falcons, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if you're correct.
And that's why I'm going for that. And it's simply just because of how the fucking Rams have played on the East Coast. That's literally what it is.
Yeah.
Right.
They lost to the Falcons and the Panthers on the East Coast.
And it also
they're
goes back to
they're a bad road team.
It also goes back to what I'm saying with the Bills too. I think when you play certain teams, you just get cocky. You just fucking, because I mean, you look at the Bills, they lost to the Dolphins and they lost to the Falcons. And now I foresee them losing to the Jaguars because I feel like they're not, I feel like they're underestimating teams. And I feel like the Rams, granted they're playing the Panthers with a chip on their shoulder because they already lost to them, but I don't see them going into this game,
So the Rams are 5-4 this year on the road, but
not terrible. I mean, they're
7-1 at home.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's a dominant record. That's a good record.
7-1 at home is, but 5-4 on the road. Like, and Carolina,
yeah, I mean, that's about 500
right,
on the road.
let's look
What is
at
Carolina on the road?
You mean at home?
Yeah, at home.
Carolina on the or at home.
Carolina at home is 5-3.
Okay, so all right. So well, I don't know, man. I mean, it's easier to win at home.
Am I starting to change your mind, Jeremy? Am I starting to change your mind, Jeremy?
A little bit. I'm a little worried about the Rams. I'll say that. I'm a little worried about the Rams.
Watch the Panthers just get blown out. Watch it be like 41-0 or some crazy shit like
Probably.
that.
I mean, I expect Matt Stafford and Devontae Adams coming back. Absolutely should be head and shoulders the better team.
And here's what I have to say. If
we don't play this game on paper.
If the Rams win, they're going to win by a big margin. And if they lose, they're going to lose by a small margin. That's the way I foresee it happening.
I think so too.
But moving on, speaking of losing by a big margin, you got the Packers and the Bears both coming off losses, but the Packers just lost 16-3 to the fucking Vikings, who the Vikings have been a disruptor, dude. I don't know what the Vikings are doing right now.
I think you called that last week.
Yeah, they're not even within earshot of the fucking playoffs. They've been out of the playoffs for weeks, but they're just like, you know what? We're going to go fuck up other teams' records. They knocked the Lions out of the playoffs completely, and now they went out there and beat the fucking Packers 16-3, and the Packers are clinched in the playoffs. They're going to it, but they still went out there and showed their ass. And then heartbreak for the Bears, even though they didn't have to win this game, but they lost by 3 points to the Lions. So both teams are coming off a loss right now. And then you got the Packers and Bears, which is what this is because of the playoffs. This is going to be their third time seeing each other.
Yeah, third time.
And didn't the Bears have won?
They're 1-1 against
right?
each other.
It's 1-1, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the last one was a thriller.
The last one
low
was
scoring until overtime.
Great. The last one was amazing.
60+ yarder from Caleb Williams.
But this game is in Chicago, and I think that means a lot. And
I agree.
The Bears and the Packers fucking hate each other too, so that has a lot to do with it too. And I think just
divisional
with the way
playoff game, love it.
Yeah, and I think just with the way the last couple of weeks of the NFL season have been going, Randy, I think the Bears got this game.
I do too, even though Jordan Love's coming back from concussion protocol.
I don't think it's going to matter.
I don't think so either. Let's look at some stats here for Packers and Bears. And, all right, here we go. Total offense, Packers 15, Bears 6. Passing offense, Packers 17, Bears 10. Rushing offense, Packers 15, Bears 3. So, I mean, on offense and Ben Johnson and the way that he's running the Bears offense right now, and he is the motherfucking play caller up there.
Absolutely.
Love that. Defense, this changes quite a bit. And this makes me worry about the Bears a little bit, but they are at home. Total defense, Packers 12, Bears 29. Passing defense, Packers 11, Bears 22. Rushing defense, Packers 18, Bears 27.
Oh,
so
wow.
Bears defense sucks ass.
It's once again a thing that like it doesn't translate into what I'm seeing when I watch the game.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
That's how I felt about like the Bills. You know?
Yeah. Because the Bills have not played as good as their numbers say that they are
playing.
Right.
And these are all year numbers, and like if we want to get into the depth of like matchup numbers, of like what's their not just like what have they done over the last like 5 games, or you know what I mean? Like, so we're looking whole season numbers. So it might not be the best, like predictor of what's going to happen in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But watching these teams and watching some of these games, I do believe in Ben Johnson's offense. I'm taking the Bears at this, stellar, dude. At home.
Fucking stellar.
Now, what they do in the next round, we'll see. And next round would be the winner of this game plays the winner of the Niners and Eagles. We'll see what happens. We saw what the Bears looked like against the Niners.
You want to jump into that game?
Yeah, let's do it.
Because that's the last game we got to talk about.
Let's hit it. Who are you taking in that game? Packers and Bears.
I already said it. I'm taking Bears.
All right, yeah, I'm Bears. I'm going
I'm
Bears.
taking Bears. I'm
All right,
taking Bears.
let's talk Niners and Eagles.
Let's not poke the bear. Let's not piss off Randy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right.
Hey,
So
please don't put me in that situation.
so yeah.
I'll just go home.
So yeah, I mean, we're gonna talk about Eagles Niners right here. I mean, so we were both very wrong because we thought the game against the Seahawks was going to be a slugfest because we were both.
It was a slugfest, but not an offensive slugfest.
In what I was saying.
Yeah.
Well, I felt so much conviction in what I was saying. I was like, yeah, you know, you're going to score in the Niners. They're going to come back and they're going to score right on you. And it's going to be blah, blah, blah. Well,
right.
They lost
like
to
what
the
happened with the
Seahawks
Bears.
by 10 points. They lost 13-3, you know, not a good day at the office for them, you know?
No.
I think it was really just the Seahawks declaring their dominance. And like, honestly, dude, the Seahawks were not even on my fucking radar this year at all.
Me either.
Like, I never would have thought the Seahawks would be where they are right now, leading their division.
I thought they were a fluke last year. They changed quarterbacks. They get rid of Geno Smith, get Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold was great last year too. But like I didn't see them continuing that. That being said, Clint Kubiak, come to Atlanta, man.
Come to Atlanta. But yeah, so with the way the 49ers played last week was pretty disheartening. And then you got the Eagles who just lost to the Commanders. But I was watching that game because I was at my in-laws' house, and my father-in-law is a big-time Commanders fan. He still calls them the Redskins. He refuses to call them the Commanders. You know, it is what it is.
Hey, I don't blame him, man. I don't blame
whatever.
Him.
You know, like
I'm still calling him Washington Football Team.
Yeah,
you gonna give me shit?
You walk in the door and my son's like, "Hey, what are you watching?" He's like, "Redskins." It's like, okay, all right, let it fly, whatever.
Yeah.
You know. But they lost. But I was watching the game and like they didn't have a single starter out there. You know, they didn't have Barkley. They didn't have nobody out there.
Right.
So it was a game that they were set up to lose. And I think because of them resting people, if I'm just going to be blunt with you, I do see the Eagles winning this game. I don't want the Eagles to win this game, but I think the Eagles are going to win this game.
Okay, yeah, Eagles playing at home. They won their division. I'm taking Niners. Niners, man. I mean, I know that, you know, I was wrong about what they were going to do against Seattle. I don't know what the fuck happened that game, but I do believe in Kyle Shanahan's play calling and Christian McCaffrey. I don't know, man. And Brock Purdy being out there, like, and seeing what they did against the Bears a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, but what happened last week?
I know. That's what I'm saying. I can't really explain what happened last week, but I'm taking the Niners in this one, man. I'm taking Niners over Eagles. Super Bowl champs being upset at home. I feel pretty good about that.
Okay.
You want to hear some of these stats real quick?
Yeah, I would love to.
All right, so 49ers, Eagles, total offense, Niners, 7th total offense, Eagles, 24th. This is the tush-push squad with Jalen Hurts, who I don't think is that great. Passing offense, Niners, 5. And again, they had their backup quarterback there for like 6 weeks. Eagles, 23. Rushing offense, Niners. This is a little surprising to me because we know Christian McCaffrey and how dangerous he can be, but I feel like he's such a utility knife. It's not always rushing.
He's been catching a lot more than rushing this season. It's been weird. He's basically just been a backfield receiver this year.
Well, he kind of like how the Falcons have been using Bijan. But rushing offense for the Niners, 24, Eagles 18 with Barkley. It's not that big of a difference. Now, total defense, we go, this is kind of where it leans Eagles' way. Niners number 20, Eagles 12, passing defense, Niners 25, Eagles 8, rushing defense, Niners 11 versus Eagles 22. So if the Eagles' strength is their rushing against what the Niners' strength is rushing defense, and then the Niners' passing attack is, I feel like, unstoppable, I'm going Niners, even on the road.
Okay.
And Eagles are spoiled, man. Eagles fans are spoiled. They're going to have a home game. They're not going to be that loud. They're going to get drunk before the game. They think it's going to be a win. I think the Eagles fucked up by getting drawn the Niners first round. Eagles should have tried to go get that number 1 seed, number 2 seed. They should be playing the Panthers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know.
I'm
I feel
still
like
with
the
the
regular
Eagles on
season
this one,
wasn't
though,
that
man.
good. I'm not.
All right. Well, only time will tell. So
Yes.
now we've got to jump into a playoff trouble watch.
Yes.
So let's see what we got here. I'm gonna give you a trouble watch.
Give me an AFC team and an NFC team.
I might give you more than one.
Okay.
Might give you more than one.
All right.
Actually, I'll tell you. I'll tell you my trouble watch teams. Do you want me to boil it down to one each?
No. If you got 3 or if you got 4, let me know.
On the AFC, I got the Chargers. Boy, are you in trouble.
Yeah.
I feel like you're about to go get fucking embarrassed by the Patriots, especially coming off that loss against the Broncos.
I agree.
Also, I want to say that I see the Bills in a little bit of trouble.
Okay.
I think they are going to severely underestimate the Jaguars, and I feel like this is once again going to be another season where Josh Allen doesn't take them as far as they're expected to go.
Okay. Yeah. I like that. Give me your NFC.
My NFC, I got the Packers in the trouble watch simply because you're coming off that big loss to the Vikings. You lost the week before that, and I think the Bears are more hungry than you are. Also in the NFC, I got the Rams. I just feel like they're coming in overconfident, over cocky, and I don't think they're expecting the game that they're actually going to have from the Panthers.
All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, my trouble watch is Steelers. Not sure they belong here. And then NFC Panthers. Not sure you belong here.
Okay.
Those are my trouble watches. But I like the Bills pick. I like the Bills pick for trouble watch because I agree. They're known to be cocky and to underestimate their opponents. And maybe they're looking ahead. And I've seen a lot of Instagram posts where they're like, Josh Allen primed to win a Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes ain't there. Lamar ain't there. And going down the list of guys that aren't playing, it's like, yeah, but you got a bunch of hungry teams coming in. Trevor Lawrence could fuck you up.
There's also something else I want to put in the trouble watch. Yeah. And that would be Sean McVay. And I'm telling you.
Okay.
I'm telling you, Sean McVay, if John Harbaugh can get fired, so can you. Because how many years now have you been on the edge of playoffs? Have you been on the edge of a Super Bowl and you can't get it done?
Hold on. Can't get it done. He's got 1 ring just like John Harbaugh.
Okay. But I'm talking about recent history. I'm talking about this Josh Allen era. I'm talking about you have probably as many weapons, as many formidable weapons, MVP players as John Harbaugh does. And you're doing about the same thing John Harbaugh has done in the past 8 years. So if his job isn't safe, I don't see your job being safe either. So you're kind of in the hot seat, in my opinion, too. So if the Bills lose to the Jaguars,
Sean McVay's LA Rams. If they fire Sean McVay, bring him to the Falcons.
No. Yeah, that's who I meant. But I'm just saying, like, here we go.
Yeah, let's see it. Love to see it. Please fire Sean McVay so that we can call him as soon as he gets fired.
Also, but talking about coaches, because I fucking turned it around there, talking about the Bills head coach, Sean McDermott, also in the hot seat, also in trouble watch.
Okay. Yeah.
So Sean McVay and Sean McDermott, both on my trouble watch list.
Sean McDermott, definitely more than Sean McVay, but because you've had these rosters and you've had Josh Allen.
Yep.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. So if John Harbaugh can get fired the way he did with what he's done with his team, Sean McVay and Sean McDermott both need to wash their asses.
Okay.
And that's all I got to say on that. That's the end of the trouble watch, baby.
All right. I'm with you.
So other than that, I guess we'll leave you with, we'll see if our picks are right. We'll see what happens with the Atlanta Falcons head coaching. We'll see what happens with the Atlanta Falcons quarterback situation. If you want to check us out, the best place and easiest place to find us is on YouTube at ATOWN Rundown. you can check out Jeremy's band Sunmancer, who you guys should be playing some shows, writing some new music in the year of 2026.
Oh yeah. Shit happening in 2026.
So good things are coming. One day, Jeremy and I will finally start a hardcore side project that's going to make your fucking brain melt, and it'll be your favorite band in the entire world, aside from Sunmancer.
It's going to be called Ass Melter.
It'll be Ass Melter. It'll be ass bleeding
fucking
metal music.
Yes.
But other than that, man, you guys take it easy. Drink all the Miller Lite you can. If you're a Falcons fan, just hold tight because I see good things in our future, because one good thing leads to another. Maybe 2026 will be the year of new beginnings for us. It seems that way already. Let's look forward to other things, man. You know, baseball season's right around the corner. And the thing is, with as much as I love football, I love baseball even more, if you can imagine that. So I'm very excited for a good baseball season. Can't wait. Boys of summer are right around the corner. I'm a summer baby. I got a June birthday, so I thrive in the summer. I thrive in baseball season. Other than that, man, you know, we'll see you guys next week. Love you.
Hell yeah. Rise up, baby. Happy New Year.